Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Myers, and I'm the athletic director here at South Hagerstown High School for the 2014-2015 academic year. I'd like to welcome you all to our first annual Meet the Team night. On the way in, you were given a copy of tonight's PowerPoint, as well as a hard copy of our school's newly created Code of Conduct and Ethics that will be implemented for the upcoming school year. Tonight, before we dismiss into our individual team meetings with your coaches and coaching staffs, I'd like to take a few minutes to go over some of the more finer details and points that make up our new Code of Ethics and Conduct. Why ethics and why morals? Well, the answer is quite simple and quite complex at the same time. These pictures on the screen right now may look very familiar to some of you and may look foreign to others. These are some of the more popular social media outlets that our students and our young people are now using on a daily basis. These social media outlets are documenting every step of the growth and development of our children as they progress through their adolescence, into their teenage years, and on to becoming young adults. With the availability of the social world at our students' fingertips, it is very easy for them to share literally whatever they want to anyone at any time. With that being said, it's very important that we use our medium of interscholastic athletics to help our students understand what proper ethics and morals are, and then on top of that, help guide them as they begin to develop their own. This athlete code of conduct and ethics is meant to give our students a benchmark or a guide on how to best represent not only South Hagerstown High School as an academic institution, but also the community of South Hagerstown. It's meant to prepare our students for lessons learned outside of competition, as well as also meant to complement our school's mission statement at large. As an academic institution, it is South High's duty to prepare our students to enter into a career or post-secondary educational world. And to do that, there are certain things that they will need to learn or skills that they will need to acquire to be successful in that world. It's also an opportunity to build and further reinforce positive character traits that the students will have learned and developed within the classroom. Going along with that, it also gives us a chance to teach applicable life lessons now at the point of instruction of skills within their sport, as well as through the competitions and contests that they'll be participating in throughout the academic and athletic year. As an athletic department, we have identified these 5 areas, as well as developed rules and regulations that go along with them, that we have deemed necessary for our students to not only have a successful time as an athlete representing South Hagerstown High School, but also gaining the traits and characteristics that they can take with them as they leave our building and progress into the quote-unquote real world, both academically and athletically. Athletics, we have identified, does build character because of these 5 areas. Interscholastic athletics can build trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, caring, and citizenship. And because athletics is an extension of the process that is going on daily within our classrooms, it is our responsibility as coaches and as administrators to not only reinforce these traits, but also build upon them with other lessons that can not only be learned in the classroom, but can also be taught through practices and competitions that our students will participate in throughout the academic and athletic year. The following 5 slides will break down each area of the Code of Conduct and Ethics into more detail. And as we go through the PowerPoint, the corresponding rules and regulations and the actual Code of Conduct itself can be found on the copy that was given to you as you came into tonight's meeting. Our first area is trustworthiness. Our students will demonstrate sportsmanship at all times while participating in an athletic program for South Hagerstown High School. While demonstrating good sportsmanship is not always a popular decision among today's athletes, given what can be found on the internet, television, YouTube, Sports Center, so on and so forth, it's an obligation nonetheless for our students to show good sportsmanship while they're participating in an athletic program for South Hagerstown High School. Our students will not lie, cheat, or steal either within the context of their sport or competition on or off the field. They will fulfill all commitments both academically and athletically so as to remain in good standing as a member of the South High community. By building trustworthiness, students will also build loyalty to both their school as well as their teammates. While all 5 of these areas of the Code of Conduct and Ethics are very important, respect is one of the ones that has most of the details within the code itself, because respect can very easily be attained and also can be very easily lost given the circumstances that our student athletes may find themselves in. First of all, they are to treat all people with respect. The emphasis being on the word all because of the amount of people that our athletes come into contact with, be it administrators, coaches, opposing athletes, fans, as well as their own teammates. It's the student's responsibility to show respect at all times. In doing that, they are also to be gracious in victory and accept defeat with class. We are looking to build a respectable and integrity-filled program. This can only be done by being gracious and humble winners and accepting of any defeats that may come our way. We need to always keep in mind that it is an athletic competition, and we need to treat it as such. It is an athletic competition, and there are much larger lessons and things going on that supersede the competition itself. And very importantly, we need to not demean ourselves or others. This would include swearing, provocative or derogatory sayings, or gestures to anyone around them. This point goes hand in hand with the last point, being that our athletes should not ridicule or mock anyone. All of these points combining to show that our athletes need to respect not only themselves, but everyone else around them. The next area in our code of conduct is responsibility. First of all, let's take a look at the meaning of student athlete. No matter how you spell the word or say it, the word student will always come first before athlete. No matter the assignment, project, test, or quiz, the student's academic responsibilities have to be fulfilled before the student can participate for their sports team. Going along with that, competition is a privilege and not a right. If others' responsibilities or commitments are not fulfilled, then competition can be taken away from them. The right to compete is not just given to anyone. Another crucial part of the code of conduct and of the point of responsibility is becoming a positive role model. These students are participating in a sport that many other eyes are watching them every night they compete. Their actions will no doubt speak much louder than any of the words, and they need to make sure that they are modeling the appropriate behavior at all times. Along with responsibility, no student should be participating in any illegal activities. Whatever the activity may be, the student should know their responsibilities not only as an athlete, but as a student as well. Our student athletes also have the responsibility of protecting the integrity of their sport, playing by the rules, competing fairly, not trying to circumvent rules or regulations to gain any unfair advantages. It is all of these things that will come together to help the student build the character trait of responsibility. Caring is the 4th pillar of our code of conduct, and it's one of the most important ones in terms of what our student athletes mean to not only their school, but also their community as well. First of all, showing concern and compassion for not only their teammates, who they spend the majority of their time with, but also other students in the building, who they may only see in one class here or there. Knowing the position they have in the school brings notoriety and prestige, meaning that when they're representing our school for their sports team, they're being covered by the media, whether it be internet, television, newspaper, pictures, or interviews, whatever the case may be. It brings with it notoriety. It's getting their name out to the community. It also brings prestige. But then using that position to help others as a part of the expectation of being an athlete for South Hagerstown High School. The social hierarchy that is public high schools today puts athletes towards the top. Historically, socially, socioeconomically, athletes are at the top of that social pyramid, and using that position to facilitate concern, compassion, and encouragement is something that we expect of our student athletes at South High. Encouraging their teammates at all times, making sure that positive reinforcement and encouragement are becoming a part of their daily routine as an athlete. Representation of the school is also an important part of caring and making sure that our athletes know that they're representing our school at all times, whether they know it or not. When they're out in the public eye, whether they have their uniforms on or not, they're representing South Hagerstown High School, not just as an athlete, but as a student as well. Last but most certainly not least is taking care of our school, themselves, and others is not only a requirement to be an athlete at South Hagerstown High School, but also to be an upstanding member of our society. And with that, it leads us to our last area of our code of ethics and conduct, which is citizenship. Going back to our mission statement for the school, we not only want to prepare them for a career or post-secondary education of choice, but also to prepare them to be a good citizen. Now, the definition of a citizen might culturally be ever-changing, but for us as an academic institution, it's preparing them to contribute to that society in some capacity, in a positive capacity. The athletic arena offers a great opportunity and environment to build these citizens that leave our school. To do that, each one of our athletes must maintain a knowledge of rules and regulations. This is not to say that they're going to be quizzed and or tested on the rules, but to be successful within their craft or sport, they must know the regulations that govern their game. They also need to maintain, along with the rules and regulations of their own game, they need to maintain a working knowledge of the code of ethics and conduct that we're establishing this year at South Hagerstown High School. This is to make sure that they maintain their good standing as a student athlete at South High. To go with that, they have to honor the rules of the game as well as the code of conduct and ethics as well. To honor would mean to not just know the rules of the game, but to honor them in the respect of following them at all times, not trying to gain an unfair advantage that is not afforded to their opponents or teammates. Our students must also understand the purpose of interscholastic athletics. This is an extension of the classroom, and this is a fantastic arena to develop the lessons and skills that they're learning within the school as a participating member of a sports team or club. Knowing that all of the practice time and training that goes into their sport to perfecting their skills and their craft is not meant only for their physical well-being, but we're also preparing them for the mental aspects, the moral aspects, as well as the social aspects of not only their sport and how it relates to their surrounding team, but also how it relates to their surrounding school and surrounding community. As you can see throughout the past 5 slides, there's a lot of overlap of topics and ideas within each one of the 5 traits that we've established. So for this code of ethics and conduct to work, it must be implemented with full accountability to all of the stakeholders involved with South Hagerstown Athletics. I, as the athletic director, not only have a responsibility to the school, but I have a responsibility to the community as well. That I will make sure our student athletes are maintaining their good standing as both students and athletes. While the code is geared towards the school, it's also meant for all the stakeholders as well, because we all have a part to play in the well-being of not only our athletics program, but also the school as a whole. With that being said, this code of conduct and ethics will be handed out in hard copy form to all students and parents prior to the season of the sport that they wish to participate in for South Hagerstown High School. In order to participate in that sport, before they can even try out, both the athlete and the parent must sign and turn back in the code of conduct and ethics to their coach, who then will turn it in to me, and I'll store it within that student's athletic file. Each year, the code of ethics and conduct will be updated. It will be implemented over the summer prior to the beginning of the new academic and athletic year. This is to make sure that the students are being held accountable, and I'm being held accountable as well to make sure that I'm modeling this code of ethics and conduct at all times. The coaches have all signed codes of conduct, and I myself have also signed the code because this truly is a community undertaking. This is not just the students being held accountable for the code and its well-being. We all, as participating members in South Hagerstown Athletics, have a responsibility to uphold this code of conduct and ethics as well. This code of ethics and conduct is only the first step in a journey that we have all decided to undertake as members of the South Hagerstown High School athletics program. However, this code of ethics and conduct that we are implementing for this current school year will not be the same one that we implement this time next year. This code of ethics and conduct is meant to be a living document. It is meant to be one that is amended and updated as necessary as our society and culture dictates. That takes us back to what we spoke on earlier tonight with social media. Whether it be Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Vine, whatever the case may be, these applications allow our student athletes to broadcast and share anything they want with whoever they want, whenever they want. And it's not just shared with our surrounding community. It can be shared on a national or even global scale if the student athlete sees fit to do so. So with that in mind, if we can come together to create a positive representation of South Hagerstown High School, we can also help positively influence and guide our student athletes into what is a positive example of ethics and conduct. By implementing and honoring this code today, we're starting to plant the seeds that should mature into a bright future, not just for our athletics program as a whole, but for the individual futures of our students as well. Albert Einstein is quoted as saying, "Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character." And I fully believe that if we all share the right attitude and the right mindset, if we have a strength of attitude and a strength of character, we will begin this new academic and athletic year at South Hagerstown High School on a positive note. Our athletics program will continue to grow and develop just as our community is also continuing to grow and develop. Because without the stakeholders that make up our program, this program will never grow and will never thrive. However, with the implementation of this new code of ethics and conduct, I, as athletic director, the administration at South Hagerstown High School, will be able to produce a product that will take the field every Friday night, every weeknight, every weekend in competition and contest, and will produce a positive representation of South Hagerstown High School and the surrounding community. I would like to thank all of those in attendance tonight at our first annual Meet the Team Night. Before I dismiss you into your individual team meetings with your respective coaching staffs, I'd like to open the floor to any questions or comments about either the Code of Conduct or the upcoming academic year. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to come up and discuss them with me tonight. If not, feel free to send me an email or call the school, and I will get back in touch with you as soon as possible. I look forward to working with your son or daughter throughout this academic year. I also look forward to sharing our experiences with the community at large. Again, thank you for attending tonight's meeting, and good luck this year.